is right from ranging from different AI startups. I'll show you some of the startups here. They are doing really great in AI. One of this is Haptic AI. Haptic is like clients ranging from multiple beverages company to banks that are helping. Okay, then you have Nikki.ai. You know, Nikki sales inquiry. Why are we doing this? Don't do this. Okay, Nikki is also this chatbot thing that they are making for like versatile in industry. They have also got a very good funding out of it. Nikki.ai. Then you have Predible.health.com. So Predible. These people are making AI for healthcare industry. So they have like a very big hospitals in their pocket now. So they are selling solutions to different hospitals where like right from brain tumor till diabetes till Alzheimer, every problem they are like trying to make this sure that they are able to do this with machine learning and deep learning inside it. Okay. Then you have MSD.ai. I remember MSD.ai. These guys are making this for customer care services, chatbots for like different industries. You come up with your industry, they'll create things for you. Again, see very good clients ranging from big people to uh, very big clients. Okay, and then next one of my favorite is Arya.ai. These people are making deep learning studios. So you all have must have heard this name called IDE. IDE is a integrated development environment where you write your code, right? But there is not a platform where people could make it for deep learning. So these guys are making a deep learning workbench for AI, and not working, but they have already made this. They are selling it again, a very large client base, working with multiple cloud solutions, multiple things. And then one of my favorite game is Swata. This is like the champ. I always tell everybody about this guy. So Swata, you all must have heard this name of self-driving car, right? And then if you have heard of this name, then you must have also thought someday that India will also, and then you must have imagined that these are the roads and now this is how people drive. And you must have, any time in your life, you must have said that self-driving cars are not coming in India, right? Everybody of you must have said this thing. I also said this one day. We were talking about this thing, and I was telling a friend, yeah, how can self-driving car come in India? Like, see the roads, man. See how people drive. Pedestrians, they come everywhere in there. So yeah, India cannot have a self-driving car. You won't believe this, but this guy, these people in Bhopal, they have started making, and they have started their demo also. Just a week ago, they did their final demo of this famous Swata robot Bolero on the highway, and it was easily able to make it to 50k plus speed with no human intervention. And the most good part about them is that they are doing it in India, that to Bhopal. And second is that they're not using any fancy, sensors like LIDAR or radar. They are totally doing this based on purely deep learning. This is how they're working. Great team of people. If any one of you is in Bhopal, go and meet these guys. These guys are champ in their work. Okay, so I am missing a lot of people right now here. I mean, a lot of people who are working. It's not just that these people are only working, but Flipkart AI division is also there. AI for Flipkart. See, this is so Flipkart is also working really good in this apparel industry. They are working. Oh yeah, apparel. I remember one more thing. Yeah, I have View.ai. How do you say it? MAD. Okay, I like Mad Street Dream. Then again, a good friend, not good friend, very good friend. So these people are building their solutions for apparel industry, or let's say for fashion industry. They are making this AI where AI could suggest you that what should be the dress that you should wear, what would suit you. Or let's say that if you give your image, this image can be broken down into multiple pieces that you can see here on the left hand side. If you're giving this image, it can tell you that this is the shoe, which brand shoe, what is the color of the shoe. Again, same for the jeans, and then for the top or your jacket also. So these guys can give you, and you can see the client base again, ultimate client base. So people ask me this question in almost every batch that what are the chances of us getting a job, landing a job, AI job in India? I say see these chances. Almost like 10 startups I've already told you these startups, right? These are the different. Yeah, I know. People ask this question to me a lot. That what are our chances to get a land a job of AI in India? Because we don't see AI in India a lot. We don't see self-driving cars like roaming in like they do in San Francisco, or in California, Palo Alto. If any one of you have to be in Palo Alto, so you might see there self-driving cars. Everybody's roaming here and there. But in India, we don't see. So what are the chances? See, these are the chances of yours. Multiple people working in multiple industries. And I love when people try to be a part of the problem and not the solution. So this I won't take you in the more of like history, but this thing came out of this thing only. This MAD came out of a solution only, like sitting somewhere and you're hitting a problem and then you come up with a solution, and then you say who will be the solution? You say that I'll bring the solution, I'll make the solution. So deep learning is all just about breaking the problem and becoming the solution. So these people, they came up with this thing, and you can see similarly for AI. I don't know why that's not opening. Okay, open. See, now Flipkart wants data scientists and engineers to build AI for India, say Sachin Bansal. And this is not a blog page. This is a pure Flipkart page. You can see the URL there, and I don't directly work with Flipkart, but yeah, I have relationship with them, and they're also doing wonderful. If you go on archive.org and you see there are like multiple papers that Flipkart people have already written in apparel industry, in image search problem, homegrown solutions. See, homegrown is already here. Yeah, homegrown solutions are already here. So people are working everywhere, and these giants are like already working. I don't need to take these names like Google or Facebook, Amazon. I don't need to take these names, right? Because every day you are reading all about AI in every day. So if you just do a simple Google search for AI and you just check the news, see, like 3 hours ago, underneath AI, Pentagon plans to spend $2 billion, and who will be Steeless versus Brown, and like AI is like everywhere. So you might have heard that this year's football was already predicted by a AI, right? So you might have heard this name of like when AI defeats defeats Dota players. So if any one of you have played Dota, see. So what is I mean, what are we doing? See, what is happening is Dota is actually a strategy game that you play. है So now they have trained AI bots to play these games first of all, and then even defeat players. And when I say players, they are like champions who are in this game. So till the date, till like last month, chess and Go. If you have heard of this game, a Chinese game called Go, somewhat like chess only, but like with more permutation and combinations. This games used to be AI used to play these games, but now they have come up in this field also, like strategy games, Counter Strike, Dota. AI bot can defeat elite human Dota too. So they are doing wonders. AI is already doing wonders, and no one needs an introduction out of it. So I don't need to tell you that what is the current trend of AI or ML. I just want to make sure that you know that in India there is a lot of scope, right? Okay. So when I say deep learning or AI, always remember. Okay, now let's come straight to topic. Oh, see, now this is a large world, and people are divided into multiple sections, right? So there are data scientists, there are like machine learning engineers, there are deep learning engineers, but they all are different. When I say data sciences are people who do data analytics, right? Who do data analytics, who understands the data really carefully, and they bring out some insights from that data. They don't do any kind of a modeling, but they just come up with different insights. Like if they see a data, that what can they infer out of it? They say that okay, our sales are going down. What do you think? Then you read the data, you analyze, you make some graph out of it, and then you say, okay, I think the sales are down because of this. Okay, this is called data analytics, where you do just analyze the data. You are not predicting anything. Then comes the second degree of people, those are called machine learning engineers. Now, machine learning engineers or scientists, whatever you want to call, but there is a I've been in industry, so I feel there's a difference that until unless you're not into research field, you should not call yourself as a scientist. You should try call yourself engineer. Okay. So machine learning engineers are those people who when see the data, they try to predict that data also. So let's say I give you a sales data, then you will tell me that okay, according to the trend of our shop, I think that our shop might get more sales this weekend if we do this. So you are trying to predict the future out of it. So if I give you some variables called X, you are trying to predict something Y. How you are predicting? Because you have learned the pattern from the data, from the historical data, from the previous data you have seen, and you have calculated a pattern out of it. You say, okay, this week our sales will go high because there is some kind of a public holiday going on, and the festival is something there, and festival is very near to our shop. So this is how you learn from the previous data, and now you're trying to predict, yes, that this week we will get a very large amount of sales. Okay. Now there are third category of data that are called deep learning engineers that you guys are studying currently right now. Okay. Now deep learning engineers, how are they different from machine learning engineers? They work in cognitive field. What they do, they learn in cognitive fields. What are cognitive fields? They're like senses of human. They deal with uh, images, they deal with text, they deal with sound, they deal with videos, they deal with time series. Okay, so these are the the senses that you have. We are working on those senses currently right now. So one of the sorry, so one of the biggest areas of deep learning is that images. From images you can do first of all classification, then segmentation, then detection, then you can see tagging also, then images, then you can have facial expression recognition, then you have facial recognition also, then you can have your age recognition, your gender recognition, right? So these are different things that you can do from images. You can do from black and white to color, from color to black and white, right? Then next comes our domain that is called text domain, where everything is written to us on a file and we are working on it, right? So let's say that your store is online, right? And everybody is writing reviews about it all over the place, like on Twitter, on Facebook, on your website also reviews. So people are writing reviews. Now either you can sit down the whole day, you can read those reviews and then get out of something out of it, or what you can do is you can apply NLP. What is NLP? Natural language processing. You can apply natural language processing, and then you can infer out the sentiment out of your reviews. Oh, you can then what you can do is you can apply a deep learning model, and then you can say, okay, my sentiment from this Twitter are coming today negative. Why? And then you'll see, oh, okay, so this is the entity that some kind of a product is not behaving as it was expected. Or someday you are saying, oh, our product is getting very much positive review. Why? Because some of the celebrity did a endorsement for us in an indirect way. So we are reducing human efforts and we are increasing our productivity. Next you have chatbots also. So chatbots also fall under this category also, where text is there, you write something and chatbot is replying to you. Marvels in the category, right?
But suppose a person, if person want to search in Google, search a word in Google, in top right corner it will pop up open language translate. It is developed by Google. It is developed by Google, right? NLP.
Yeah. No. See, NLP is a technology.
Yeah, text blob and all this. Yeah.
Yeah, so there are multiple libraries, NLTK, Spacey, TaxBlock. They're different, but NLP is not by Google. NLP is a
Mm.
technology. Like deep learning is a technology. It's not by Google.
Yeah.
It's a technology
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Google is also
yeah.
using.
It is developed by Google one, right? Yes.
Yeah, the product that you're asking is developed by Google, but NLP is not developed by Google.
Yes, yes, correct. That is the concept.
Yeah. Correct, correct, correct. So okay, so we were talking about images, then text, then talk about like something about sound. So sound has like not been in the hype for like till 2015, but after that they have come into like majorly into deep learning now. Now you can do sound classification, that if two people are talking, now you can tell that this to this second someone was talking, and then this to this second someone else was talking, right? Then audio footprinting you can do, and you can do audio segmentation. Then you can do sound sentiment analysis, that you can hear the sound of a person and then you can tell that what is the sentiment of that person at that particular instance. Okay, and then comes the video. So videos may you can do video intelligence, you can tag people in video, you can count the number of people. So like there are like different cases that you can do in videos. So videos are somewhat like images only, like frame of images, but still video have a very great use cases that you can do with deep learning. Okay. Oh, this we have already covered. Artificial intelligence versus machine learning versus deep learning, already covered. Let's come to the next slide. Okay, so this is don't read the currently the right one. Please don't read this. You'll get confused. Yeah, but what are the basic requirements for our thing? Nothing, nothing. But in this course, we'll make sure that we are doing all the deep learning on Python, right? Why Python? People always ask me this question very often. They say why not MATLAB, or why cannot we use Octave, or why cannot we use R? I'll tell you a simple reason: because Python can do everything. R may it's like very difficult to deploy your model, or to connect it with the Hadoop cluster, or to do hosting on it. It's like really tough. You can do on R, but it's like really tough. You cannot create web app over it's like really tough to make web app over R model, R shiny, but it's like really tough. So what Python can do? Python is like a overall champ. Python, you might have not heard of this fact, but Python is older than Java. Most people don't know this fact. Most people think that Java, uh, Python is like somewhat like yesterday's language. Like yesterday's word launch and today we are using it. No, Python is older than Java. Python may you can make web apps, mobile apps, you can do hacking, you can do IoT. You won't believe me, but if you have Linux or MacBook with you, currently you'll see that you don't need to install Python. Why? Because Python is already installed on your laptop. Like you might need to ask this question yourself: that why is Python installed on my laptop? Brother, this is because your OS needs Python. This is the level of Python, how much penetrated it is. OS, your Linux OS, your Mac OS, they require Python as a dependency. That's why they're already installed with you. So this is what Python is. And then for writing Python, there are like multiple IDEs where you will write Python. Most of you might have heard of this thing called IDLE, IDLE, or you might write it on your console, or like IPython, or like PyCharm, or Sublime Text. You might have heard of all these names, but no, we are going to use the most commonly used data science IDE, that is called Jupyter Notebooks and Spider. So we'll be more focusing on Jupyter Notebooks rather than Spider, because Spider is more of like a desktop application, but Jupyter Notebook is a browser-based application. Okay, browser-based IDE on which we'll be working. See, then next. Okay, don't get stressed out of it. It's like a long thing that you might see, but don't see it. It's like really out of the frame. But just to give you a brief idea, this is what we'll be doing. We'll be first of all dedicating 1 day to Python just to make sure that everybody is on the Python. Okay, and then we'll switch to the machine learning classes that we'll learn about machine learning just for 1 day or 2 day, and then we'll purely shift to deep learning, right? Then we'll shift to deep learning. We'll, I think, for almost like 2 or 3 days, we'll learn majorly about theory of this. And then once we start with the practical, you won't get any time to understand the theory. That's why we'll be dedicating 3 days to theory, purely to theory. And then we'll be doing the practical. We'll be doing almost like 7 to 8 examples of like image classification and, their deep learning modeling. We'll be learning how to do inferencing, how to store these models. Or sometimes if the images are less to you, or the data set is less to you, then also how do you manage to increase your data set, right? Data augmentation, or let's say if your RAM is less, and then also you want to do modeling out of it, how will you do? Okay, just one question. That is what I was telling you. Why Python? Because like Python is everywhere. Python is from web development to DevOps scripts to network management to IoT to hacking to data science to sentiment analysis, text mining, NLP, NLU, everywhere. Whereas R and MATLAB, they are born as mathematical and statistical languages, right? If I'm not saying wrong, I am first a Python guy and then a R guy. And MATLAB, I like did it like years ago, yeah, years ago. So if someone new is a champ in MATLAB, don't ask me questions. I won't be able to answer you guys because I did it like really, really long time back. Yeah, sure, sure. We'll do these all. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Okay. See, these are the facts about Python that you can learn. So see, some of the facts that you need to know, I'll tell you. Don't read these slides. I'll tell you. So the founder of Python is Guido von Rossum. So Guido is he is the founder of Python. He was in Netherlands when he started with this language. He has struggled a lot in his life to bring up this Python language to us. And for till 2011, Guido was in Google, so you'll see a lot of Google references for Python. You'll also see a very good course of Python on Google itself. I mean, EDU, Google EDU, they provide a Python course. So, and you'll also see that Google has some of the very large code written in Python only. So it's like both the ways. Google has helped Python, and Python has also helped Google to grow a lot. YouTube is written on Python. Instagram is written on Python. Bing is written on Python. You'll see some of the big names that are written in Python. If how many of you read Quora? Quora is also written on Python. Multiple Python objects. Okay, and now I'll tell you how to install. Go to the site called anaconda.com. I am also copying this into the chat. Control V, enter. Okay, you can see Anaconda opening in your laptops. Then what you'll do is you'll see on the top right corner, you can see this green button of download, right? Go to this download. Okay, how many of you are non-Windows people? Okay, Ravi, you are a Mac person. Okay. Anybody a Mac or a Linux fan? I am. I have raised my hand. Okay, nobody. So you are the only one who's on a Mac. Okay. So go to this downloads, click on this downloads link. Okay, and then select your operating systems. Let's say ours is Windows as of now. So you'll go down and you'll see two Python flavors there, Python 3 or Python 2. We will choose Python 3. You will click on this right hand side, oh sorry, left hand side of this. Okay, and if you have a 32-bit system, make sure you are going down and then selecting this 32-bit. I don't think some of all of you are like 8 GB. So I think all of you might be on 32-bit, but if you are a 64-bit, then you can easily click on this green button. Otherwise, select this 32-bit. Now, while you are installing, please make sure to check a checkbox. What is this checkbox? I'll show you. See, as soon as you download this exe, you will get it on your laptop, on your downloads folder. Go there, double click on it, and just make sure what things I'm telling you. Okay. Oh, we have already crossed the time. I'm sorry. I sometimes do this thing. If you don't have any other plans, I like to just stretch more, like 5-10 minutes of yours. I should take care of time. I think it would be 8 to 10 p.m. IST. So wherever you are, convert yourself. And am I saying it according to my time? Yes. Saturday, Sunday. Yes. See, whenever so what you are asking on chat, I'm so sorry. You are saying that you have already installed timing Saturday, Sunday. Should I again download Anaconda? I mean, if you have recently downloaded it, you won't require it. But just for the changes that I'm telling you, please make sure you're seeing here. Please, just for 1 second, see this. You'll press next. You'll agree the license. You'll say just me or all user, whatever you want to do based on your thing. Now make sure that you are making this into your C drive and Anaconda. Just Anaconda. Okay. Why I did this? Because you want to make sure that where your Anaconda is. Okay. You want to make sure that where it is installed. Otherwise, see, the by default path is this, like app, data, local, Anaconda, and all this. Like it's like not good for us, right? So we'll write Anaconda 3. Okay. Then you'll say next. You can install it in your D drive also if you want, D drive, E drive, wherever you want. But make sure when you click next. Okay, let's say new. See, now there are two checkbox. Make sure you're clicking both the checkbox. Why we are doing this? Because we want this Python to become the default Python, and not only become the default Python, but also be in the path also. We want this Python to be inside the base path of the environment also. If you won't check this, you cannot open Python in any other directory. We don't want that. We want to open Python going through any directory, right? So you will check both the checkboxes and then you can click on install. I will not click because I have already installed. We cancel all this. Like how many instances do I have? Okay. So I'll do this. This is all for today's session.